Welcome back to Bargirl Baddies. Today's story comes from a guy who thought he had it all figured out. Marcus Chen, 28 years old, software developer from Vancouver, Canada. Smart guy. Good job. The kind of person who plans everything, who reads the fine print, who prides himself on not being naive. But here's the thing about loneliness. It doesn't care how smart you are. It finds the cracks in your armor and it gets in anyway. Marcus thought he'd found something genuine in a massage parlor in Chiang Mai. He thought he could see through the game. He thought this girl was different, and maybe she was. Or maybe that's just what he needed to believe. Because when you're that far from home, when you're that empty inside, sometimes the kindest lie feels better than the hardest truth. This is a story about manipulation, sure. But it's also about what we're willing to pay for when we're desperate to feel something real. Before we get into it, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. And if you've ever found yourself in a similar situation, whether in Thailand or anywhere else, hit that like button. You're not alone. Trust me. Alright, here's Marcus. I need you to understand what my life looked like before Thailand. I was drowning in Vancouver, and I didn't even know it. 28 years old, pulling 70-hour weeks at a fintech startup in Yaletown, watching the same grey rain streak down the same office windows from September through May. My apartment cost $2,200 a month for a shoebox studio, where I could hear my neighbour's television through the walls. I'd wake up at 6, code until midnight, sleep, repeat. My last relationship had ended 8 months earlier. Sarah. She told me I was emotionally unavailable, which was probably true, but I didn't have the energy to argue. I just nodded and helped her pack her stuff and went back to work the next day like nothing happened. The thing is, I was good at my job. Really good. And I kept telling myself that was enough. The money was decent, about 90,000 Canadian a year, which sounds like a lot until you're spending $40 on a mediocre lunch and watching your savings disappear into rent and student loans. I had maybe 30,000 saved up. I told myself I was building towards something, but if you'd asked me what, I couldn't have told you. It was a YouTube video that changed everything. I wasn't even looking for it. The algorithm just served it up one night when I was lying in bed at 11 p.m, too tired to sleep, too wired to relax. Some guy in his 30s walking through a night market in Chiang Mai, showing his apartment 2 bedrooms, modern kitchen, balcony with a mountain view, 6,000 baht a month. I had to Google the conversion. That's about 240 Canadian dollars for a place that looked better than anywhere I could afford in Vancouver. Then he showed his typical day. Breakfast at a cafe 60 baht, about 250 Canadian. Gym membership 900 baht a month, around $36. A full meal at a nice restaurant, 200 baht, maybe $8. And he was freelancing, working 4 hours a day, making enough to live comfortably and save. The comments were full of other guys saying they'd done the same thing. Digital nomads, retirees, English teachers, all of them talking about how they'd escaped the grind. I watched 12 more videos that night. By the time the sun came up, I'd already started planning. It took me 4 months to actually do it. I negotiated remote work with my company. They weren't thrilled, but I was too valuable to lose, and they knew it. I sold most of my furniture, put the rest in my mom's garage in Surrey, and bought a one-way ticket to Bangkok with a connection to Chiang Mai. My boss asked me how long I'd be gone. I told him 6 months. But standing in the airport, watching Vancouver disappear beneath the clouds, I wasn't sure I was coming back at all. Chiang Mai hit me like a wall of heat when I stepped off the plane. It was late March, the hottest time of year, and the air felt thick enough to chew. That first taxi ride from the airport into the city, I had the windows down, and everything was sensation. The smell of street food frying in hot oil, jasmine flowers, incense from the temples, exhaust from 1,000 motorbikes weaving through traffic. The driver was playing Thai pop music I didn't understand, and the sun was setting behind the mountains, turning everything gold and purple. I'd rented a studio apartment in Niman, the trendy neighbourhood where all the expats and digital nomads clustered. It was nothing fancy, about 35 square metres, 5th floor walk up, no elevator. But it had air conditioning, fast Wi-Fi, and a little balcony where I could see the street below. The rent was 8,000 baht a month. That's about 320 Canadian. Less than I'd been spending on groceries back home. Those first few weeks were exactly what I needed. I'd wake up without an alarm for the first time in years. Work a few hours in a cafe, sipping iced coffee that cost less than a Vancouver cappuccino. Walk around the old city, exploring temples with monks in orange robes sweeping the courtyards. Eat pad thai from street carts for 40 baht. The money thing was almost funny. I checked my bank account and realised I'd spent maybe 1,500 baht in a day, which was around 60 Canadian dollars, and that included everything. Meals, coffee, a massage, drinks at a rooftop bar. Wait, the massage. That's where this actually starts. I found Sabai Massage by accident. It was just around the corner from my apartment, tucked between a 7-Eleven and a place that sold custom suits. I'd walked past it maybe a dozen times before I actually went in. The sign was hand-painted, a little faded. Traditional Thai massage, 250 baht for 1 hour. Oil massage, 350 baht. Foot massage, 200. There were photos in the window of women in matching purple uniforms, all smiling at the camera. I'd been having this knot in my shoulder from years of hunching over a keyboard, and someone in one of the expat Facebook groups had said Thai massage was incredible for that kind of thing. So one afternoon, after a particularly long morning of Zoom calls with the Vancouver office, I walked in. The place was simple, clean. There was a small waiting area with a Buddha statue in the corner, incense burning, some kind of meditation music playing quietly. The floor was polished wood. A woman in her 50s greeted me in Thai, and when I clearly didn't understand, she switched to broken English and asked what I wanted. Traditional massage, I said. 1 hour. She nodded and called something in Thai toward the back. A moment later, another woman emerged from behind a curtain. That was Ploy. I don't want to make this sound like some movie moment, because it wasn't. She was pretty, sure. Mid-20s, maybe 26. Long, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. The same purple uniform as the woman at the desk. But it was her smile that got me, not flirtatious, just warm, like she was genuinely happy to see me, even though I was just another customer. She said something in Thai, then caught herself. "You want strong or soft?" she asked in English. "Strong," I said, my shoulders killing me. She nodded and gestured for me to follow her. The massage room was small and quiet, bamboo mat on the floor, dim lighting, more incense. She handed me a loose cotton outfit to change into and stepped out to give me privacy. When I was ready, I called out, and she came back in. For the next hour, I didn't think about work. I didn't think about Vancouver, or my ex-girlfriend, or what the hell I was doing with my life. Ploy worked through every knot in my back, my shoulders, my neck. She'd push her elbow into a pressure point, and I'd wince, and she'd laugh a little and say, okay, and ease up just enough. She asked where I was from. Canada, I told her. Vancouver. She said she had a cousin who wanted to go to Canada. Very cold there, she said. I laughed and said yes, very cold. When it was over, I felt like a different person. Lighter, loose. I paid her 300 baht. I tipped 50 extra because it seemed like the right thing to do, and she smiled and said, "Thank you, you come again." And I did. I started going twice a week, Tuesday and Friday afternoons, right after I finished my morning work block. It became this ritual. I'd walk down the street, past the 7-Eleven where I'd grab a coconut water, past the suit shop where the owner always waved at me, and into Sabai. Ploy was usually available. If she wasn't, I'd wait. The other masseuses were fine, but it wasn't the same. We started talking more. Her English wasn't great, and my Thai was basically non-existent. I'd learned maybe 20 words from a language app, but we managed. She asked about my work. I tried to explain software development and she nodded politely, clearly not understanding, and we both laughed. I asked what she did before this. She'd been a masseuse for 5 years, she said. Learned from her aunt. Before that, she worked in a hotel in Bangkok. She'd remember things. Small things. The second time I came in, she asked if my shoulder was better. The fourth time, she made me ginger tea without me asking because I'd mentioned I had a cold. Once, I showed up limping a little because I'd stupidly tried to go running in the heat and pulled something in my calf. She spent extra time on my legs that day, didn't charge me extra, just waved me off when I tried to tip more. I started noticing details about her. The way she'd tuck a strand of hair behind her ear when she was concentrating, the little scar on her wrist that she never explained, how she'd hum quietly sometimes while she worked, always the same melody, something I didn't recognize. She wore a small silver bracelet that caught the light. And yeah, I was attracted to her. I'm not going to pretend I wasn't, but it felt like more than that. It felt like she actually saw me. Not Marcus, the software developer, not Marcus, the walking ATM machine, which is how a lot of interactions in Niman felt, but just me. When I talked, she listened. When I made a bad joke, she'd laugh. When I was having a rough day, she seemed to sense it and would be a little gentler. 3 months in, I was still telling myself it was just massages. Just a nice routine. A friendly face in a foreign city. But I'd started timing my errands, so I'd walk past the shop. Started looking forward to Tuesday and Friday more than anything else in my week. Started feeling a little deflated on the days when she wasn't there. I knew what this looked like from the outside. I wasn't an idiot. The expat forums were full of warnings about guys who fell for bar girls, massage girls, anyone in the service industry. Don't mistake professional kindness for personal interest. They're working. You're a customer. Don't be that guy. But Ploy felt different. Maybe that's what everyone tells themselves. Maybe that's exactly what I was supposed to think. But sitting here now, remembering those early months, I still can't entirely convince myself it was all fake. Maybe that's the saddest part. One Friday in June, after she finished the massage, she did something she'd never done before. She sat down next to me instead of leaving the room immediately. We were both quiet for a moment. Then she asked if I had Line. It's a messaging app, basically the Thai version of WhatsApp. Everyone uses it there. I said yes. She pulled out her phone and showed me her QR code. I scanned it. Just like that, we were connected outside the massage shop. She messaged me that night. Just a simple hello with a smiley face emoji, I wrote back. We exchanged maybe 5 messages, nothing deep. Good night. Sleep well. That kind of thing. But I stared at my phone for 20 minutes after she stopped replying, and I felt something I hadn't felt since before Sarah left. Hope, maybe. Or possibility. The sense that I wasn't completely alone in this city. I fell asleep with my phone next to my pillow, the ceiling fan spinning slowly above me, cutting through the heat. Somewhere in the distance, a dog was barking. Closer by, a motorbike revved and faded into the night. I could smell jasmine drifting in through the window. For the first time in years, I felt like someone actually cared. That feeling didn't last. The messages started small. Good morning texts with coffee cup emojis. How was your day? Did you eat lunch? The kind of thing that feels sweet and thoughtful when you're starving for attention. I'd wake up to her messages and feel this little spark of something warm in my chest. I'd be sitting in a cafe working and my phone would buzz, and I'd smile before I even looked at the screen because I knew it was her. We still had our Tuesday and Friday appointments, but now there was this thread connecting us between visits. She'd send me photos sometimes. A plate of somtam she was eating, a stray cat outside the massage shop. Once, a selfie of her making a peace sign, looking tired but smiling. I saved that one. I'm not proud of it, but I did. The tips started increasing without me really noticing. 300 baht for the massage became 400, then 500. She never asked for more, never even hinted. But I wanted to give it. I told myself it was because the massage was worth it, because she spent extra time on my problem areas, because she was just better than the other masseuses. And all of that was true. But really, I was paying for the way she made me feel. Like I mattered. Like I was special. About 4 months in, something shifted. We were messaging late one night. I'd just finished a brutal series of meetings with the Vancouver team. Time zones meant I sometimes had to work until midnight, Chiang Mai time to catch them in the morning. I was complaining about work stress, and she sent back a sad face emoji and said she understood. Then, almost casually, she mentioned her mother wasn't feeling well. I asked what was wrong. She said stomach problems. Had to go to hospital. Very expensive in Thailand if you don't have good insurance. I asked if there was anything I could do. There was a long pause, 3 dots appearing and disappearing like she was typing and deleting. Finally she wrote, "It's okay, I will manage." Something in those words felt like a door being opened. An invitation I was supposed to recognize. And maybe because I wanted to be the kind of guy who helps, or maybe because I wanted her to need me, I pushed. How much does she need? Another pause. Maybe 5,000 baht. But please, I don't want to bother you. 5,000 baht. I did the math automatically now, didn't even have to think about it. About 200 Canadian dollars. Nothing really. A nice dinner out in Vancouver. 2 weeks of coffee. And here was someone I cared about. Someone whose mother was sick, and I could actually help. I sent her the money through mobile banking that night. She protested in the messages, said it was too much, that I was too kind. But she sent me a long voice message afterward, her voice soft and grateful, saying, Thank you so much. You are a very good man. My mother will be okay now because of you. I listened to that voice message 3 times before I fell asleep. The requests came slowly at first, spaced out enough that each one felt like an isolated emergency rather than a pattern. A few weeks later, her motorbike broke down. She sent me a photo of it, the engine cover open, some mechanical problem I couldn't identify. The repair was going to be 8,000 baht. She was so sorry to mention it, she said, but she didn't know who else to ask. Her friends didn't have money. Her family couldn't help. I sent her 10,000, told her to make sure they fixed it properly. Then her rent was due and the shop had been slow. She might have to move out of her apartment, find somewhere cheaper, maybe far from the city. I didn't want her to have to do that. 12,000 baht. About 480 Canadian. Then a family emergency up country. Her father's motorcycle accident, medical bills. 15,000 baht. Each time, she'd apologize profusely. Each time, she promised to pay me back. Each time, I'd tell her not to worry about it. And each time, the gratitude in her messages felt real. She'd tell me I was different from other customers, that I had a good heart, that she was lucky to meet me. I was 6 months into living in Chiang Mai, and I'd sent her probably 150,000 baht total. I actually calculated it one night, looking through my mobile banking history, about 6,000 Canadian dollars. The number shocked me at first, but then I rationalized it. That was barely 2 months' rent in Vancouver. Here it was keeping someone I cared about safe. It was helping her family. And wasn't that worth something? The other expats started to notice. I'd mentioned ploy casually in conversation. My masseuse, this girl I know, and I'd see them exchange looks. One British guy at a co-working space actually pulled me aside and asked point blank if I was sending her money. Just helping her out sometimes, I said. He shook his head. Mate, he said, you know what's happening here, right? I got defensive. You don't know her, I said. It's not like that. He held up his hands. Your money, your choice. Just saying I've seen this movie before. I stopped talking to him after that. Started avoiding the expat crowd in general. They were cynical, jaded. They'd been here too long and forgotten how to trust people. I wasn't like them. I could see the difference between someone running a scam and someone who genuinely needed help. Ploy and I started meeting outside the massage shop. Just occasionally, she'd finish work and message asking if I wanted to get dinner. We'd go to small local places, never the touristy restaurants. She'd order for both of us in Thai and we'd share dishes. She taught me how to eat samtam properly, how to squeeze the lime just right. I pay for everything, obviously. It wasn't expensive, 300 baht, 400, maybe 5 if we got drinks. She never invited me back to her place, and I never pushed. We weren't dating exactly. I wasn't sure what we were. The physical boundaries were clear at the massage shop. She was professional, and outside of it we never touched beyond the occasional friendly arm pat. But emotionally, it felt like we were building something. I started thinking about what it would mean to be with her properly, whether I could stay in Thailand long term, whether my company would let me work remotely permanently, whether she'd be interested in something more serious if I offered it. I played out scenarios in my head, meeting her family, maybe helping her open her own massage business. I had savings. I could make that happen. One night, about 7 months in, we were having dinner at a small restaurant near the old city. She seemed distracted, kept checking her phone. Finally, I asked if everything was okay. She put her phone down and looked at me. Really looked at me. Her eyes were wet. I have problem, she said quietly. My stomach dropped. What's wrong? She explained haltingly, mixing Thai and English. The massage shop owner was raising the rent on the booth spaces. All the masseuses had to pay more or leave. She couldn't afford it. She might have to quit. Maybe go back to her village up country. Find different work. The thought of her leaving actually hurt. Like a physical pain in my chest. How much do you need? I asked. She shook her head. Too much. Maybe 20,000 baht just to stay for next month. And then, every month after. She couldn't keep asking me. I reached across the table, took her hand. It was the first time I'd done that. She didn't pull away. What if she didn't have to work there? I said. What if I helped you? Just for a while. Until you figured something else out. She stared at me. I can't ask you to do that. You're not asking. I'm offering. We talked for another hour. I did math on napkins. If I sent her 25,000 baht a month, about 1,000 Canadian, she could cover her rent, her phone, her food, send money to her family. She wouldn't have to massage other men. She could take a break, figure out what she wanted to do next, maybe take a course, learn a skill. She cried when I laid it out, said I was too good, that she didn't deserve it. I felt like a hero. The arrangement started in August. I sent her 25,000 baht on the first of the month. She stopped working at the massage shop. We started spending more time together. She'd meet me for lunch. We'd walk around the city. She'd take me to places tourists never saw, small temples where she'd known the monks since she was a kid, markets where her aunts had stalls, a lake outside the city where locals went to escape the heat. I was happier than I'd been in years. Yeah, I was spending money, but I was making good money. And what was the point of having it if I couldn't help someone I cared about? My savings were dropping. I was down to maybe 18,000 Canadian in the bank, but I was living well, working 4 hours a day, exploring Thailand, and I had someone who seemed to genuinely care about me. But there were things I ignored, small things that my brain flagged, but I pushed away. She was never available on weekends, always had family obligations, she said. Had to go up country, had to help her mother, had to attend a friend's wedding. When I offered to come with her, she'd say it was too boring for me. Too far. Too complicated. She never invited me to meet her friends, said they didn't speak English and would be shy around a foreigner. Her line profile picture never included me, even though we'd taken dozens of photos together. Sometimes she'd message me at odd hours, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., like she was just getting home from somewhere. When I'd ask about it the next day, she'd say she couldn't sleep or she was watching a movie. Once, I showed up at her apartment building. She'd mentioned the name once, and I'd figured out where it was, thinking I'd surprise her. I messaged from downstairs. She seemed panicked in her response, said she wasn't home, said she was sick and didn't want me to see her like that. Asked me to please leave, and she'd message me later. I told myself it was cultural. Privacy was different here. Relationships moved differently. She was independent, and that was good. I didn't want to be a controlling foreigner who demanded all her time. But deep down, in the place I didn't like to look, I knew something was off. My friend Kevin visited from Vancouver in September. We'd worked together at the startup before I left. He'd taken a week off and wanted to see what my life looked like now. I was excited to show him, prove that I'd made the right choice. We hit all the tourist spots, temples, night markets, the Sunday walking street. I took him to the good restaurants, the rooftop bars. He kept saying he was jealous, that this seemed incredible. On the third night, we were having drinks at a bar in Nimon. He asked if I was seeing anyone. Sort of, I said. It's complicated. He raised his eyebrows. Tell me. So I told him about ploy, not everything. I downplayed the money part, but one explained we'd met at a massage place, that we'd gotten close, that I was helping her out while she figured out her next steps. Kevin was quiet for a minute. Then he asked how much I was sending her. I hedged, not that much, just helping with rent and stuff. Marcus, he said. How much? I don't know, maybe 1,000 a month. Canadian. He set down his beer. Dude, what? You're paying her rent? You're basically sponsoring her? I got defensive immediately. It's not like that. She's not some bar girl. She's just going through a hard time. Have you met her family? Her friends? It's complicated here. Cultural differences. Have you been to her place? Once or twice. I lied. I'd never been inside. Kevin looked at me with something like pity. Man, I'm not trying to be a dick. But this sounds like every story I've read about guys getting played in Southeast Asia. We argued. I told him he didn't understand. He told me I was being naive. We dropped it eventually, but the rest of his trip was tense. When he left, he hugged me at the airport and said, "Just be careful, okay?" I didn't respond. After he left, I felt angry. Judged. But also, somewhere underneath, scared. Because what if he was right? What if I was just another stupid foreigner who couldn't tell the difference between genuine affection and professional manipulation? I pushed the thoughts away, kept sending the money, kept seeing ploy, kept telling myself this was real. And then my phone broke. It was a stupid accident. I dropped it getting out of a tuk-tuk and the screen shattered. It still worked, but touching the screen was unreliable. I needed to transfer some files to my laptop urgently for a work deadline. Ploy was at my apartment. We were supposed to get dinner that evening. I asked if I could borrow her phone to log into my cloud storage. She hesitated, just for a second, then handed it over with a smile. I opened the browser, started logging into my account, and then a line notification dropped down from the top of the screen. A message from someone named David. Miss you, baby. When can I see you again? My hands went cold. I shouldn't have opened it. I knew even as I was doing it that I was crossing a line, but I couldn't stop myself. I tapped the notification. The Line app opened. There were 5 different conversations at the top of her chat list, all foreign names. David, James. Robert, Michael. Henrik. I opened David's chat, scrolled up. The same messages I'd been getting. Good morning, baby. Did you eat? I miss you. And from him, money transfer confirmations. Screenshots of mobile banking. 20,000 baht. 15,000. 30,000. I opened James's chat. Same thing. Sweet messages. Transfer screenshots. I miss your massage. When are you free? I'm thinking about you. Robert, Michael, Henrik. Every single one the same pattern. And the photos. The selfie she'd sent me. The one I'd saved. The one where she was making a peace sign. She'd sent it to 3 of them. The same day. I scrolled further back in David's messages. Found a screenshot I recognized. The story about her mother being sick. The exact same story, word for word, that she'd told me. He'd sent her 5,000 baht. There was a message from her to Michael. My motorbike is broken. I don't know what to do. The same photo she'd sent me. He'd sent 10,000. I don't know how long I sat there. Could have been 30 seconds. Could have been 5 minutes. Ploy came out of the bathroom. Saw me holding her phone. Saw her Line app open. Her face changed. For just a moment, I saw something I'd never seen before. Not panic, not guilt, just cold calculation. Like she was running through her options. Then it shifted. Her eyes went wide. She rushed over. Marcus, why you look at my phone? That's private. I held it up. Showed her David's chat. My voice came out flat. Calm. Who is this? She grabbed for the phone. I pulled it back. Who are James and Robert and Michael and Henrik, Ploy? She started crying. Immediately. Like turning on a faucet. It's not what you think. They are just friends. Customers from before. You sent them the same photos you sent me. You told them the same stories. You're taking money from all of them. No, you don't understand. It's different. How is it different? She was sobbing now, full body shaking. You are special. You are different from them. They are nothing. I really care about you. Then why are you still messaging them? Why are they sending you money? I need to survive. You think 25,000 baht is enough? You think that covers everything? So you're just collecting from whoever will pay? She switched tactics. Got angry. This is Thailand. You don't understand Thai culture. Woman has to take care of family, has to survive. Farang men come here. They have so much money, they don't miss it. What is $1,000 for you? Nothing. But for me is everything. I stood up, set her phone on the table. I need you to leave. Marcus, please, get out. She tried to grab my arm, started begging. Please listen to me. Please let me explain. It's not like you think. The others, they mean nothing. You are the one I care about. You are good man. Best man. Please don't do this. I walked to the door, opened it, just stood there. She gathered her bag. At the door, she turned back, tears streaming down her face. Real tears. Or maybe not. I couldn't tell anymore. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm really sorry. I closed the door behind her, locked it, went to my phone, even with the broken screen managed to navigate to Line, blocked her number, blocked her on everything. Then I sat down on my bed and stared at the ceiling fan spinning slowly above me. The same fan I'd stared at all those nights thinking about her, and I felt completely hollow. Outside, Chiang Mai continued on, motorbikes humming past, someone's music playing, a dog barking in the distance, the same sounds as always. But everything felt different now. I'd been so sure I was different. So sure I could see through the game. So sure she was real. And maybe some of it was. Maybe that's the cruelest part. Maybe she did care. In whatever way someone can care about someone they're using. Maybe the tears were real even if the relationship wasn't. I lay back on the bed. Didn't bother turning off the lights. Didn't bother eating dinner. Just lay there as the hours passed and tried to calculate how much money I'd sent her total. Tried to figure out when it had shifted from genuine help to willful blindness. Tried to understand at what point I'd become just another name in her line app, another source of funds, another lonely foreigner who'd confused kindness for love. The worst part wasn't the money. The worst part was that one felt seen. I'd felt special. I'd felt like I mattered, and it had all been a transaction. The first week after I blocked Ploy, I barely left my apartment. I'd wake up, stare at my laptop screen, pretend to work. My manager in Vancouver messaged asking if everything was okay because I'd missed 2 deadlines. I told him I had food poisoning. He said take a few days. I took 5. I couldn't eat. The thought of going downstairs to grab food from the 7-Eleven meant walking past Sabai Massage, and I couldn't do it. I ordered delivery instead. Pad Thai that sat in the container getting cold because I'd take 2 bites and feel sick. I lost maybe 8 pounds that week. The shame was physical. It lived in my chest like something heavy and rotten. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those line messages. Saw my own messages to her next to David's, next to James's, next to all the others. We were all saying the same things, all of us thinking we were special. All of us paying for the privilege of that delusion. I thought about going home, seriously considered it, book a flight back to Vancouver, tell my company I'd work from the office again, move back into some overpriced apartment where I could hear my neighbours through the walls. At least there, I'd only be lonely. Here I was, lonely and stupid. But I didn't. Something stubborn in me refused. This wasn't about Thailand. This wasn't even really about Ploy. This was about the hole inside me that I'd tried to fill with someone else's attention, and that hole would follow me back to Vancouver. It would follow me anywhere. On day 8, I finally went outside, walked a different route, avoided Niman entirely, ended up in the old city near Wat Phra Singh. Sat on the steps of the temple watching tourists take photos, monks walking past in their orange robes, local women selling lotus flowers for offerings. A street dog wandered over, skinny thing, ribs showing, one ear torn. It sat down next to me and looked up like it was asking permission. I didn't pet it, just sat there. It didn't seem to mind. After a while, it lay down with its head on my foot. We stayed like that for maybe 20 minutes. Then someone called out in Thai and the dog got up and trotted away. I watched it go and felt something crack open in my chest. Started crying right there on the temple steps. Not dramatic sobbing, just quiet tears that wouldn't stop. An old Thai woman selling flowers came over. She didn't say anything, just sat down next to me, pulled a tissue from somewhere in her clothes and handed it to me. We sat there together, this complete stranger and me, while I cried about my own stupidity. After a while, she patted my hand and said something in Thai I didn't understand. Then she got up and went back to her flowers. I walked home a different person than I'd walked out, still hurt, still ashamed, but maybe capable of surviving it. Word travels fast in the expat community. I started hearing things through the usual channels. Someone posted in one of the Facebook groups asking if anyone knew a masseuse named Ploy from Sabai said she'd scammed him. 3 other guys commented saying the same thing. Then someone else posted screenshots similar to what I'd seen on her phone. The pattern was identical across all of them. Apparently one of the guys, Henrik the First, had done some digging, contacted the others. They'd all compared notes, figured out they were all sending her money simultaneously, all getting the same stories. Some of them had been doing it for over a year. Henrik had gone to the massage shop, confronted the owner. The owner had been horrified, claimed she had no idea. Ploy was running this scheme on the side, fired her on the spot. There was talk about reporting her to the police, but nobody wanted to do it. Too embarrassing. Too complicated. And what would they even report? She hadn't technically stolen anything. We'd all sent money willingly. I didn't participate in those threads, didn't comment, just read them late at night feeling a mix of vindication and disgust. Vindication because I wasn't the only one. Disgust because that didn't make it better. We were all the same brand of lonely and desperate. Someone posted that they'd seen her working at a different massage place across town. Someone else said no, she'd left Chiang Mai entirely. Another person claimed she was working at a beer bar in Pattaya now. Nobody knew for sure. I tried not to care. 3 weeks after the blow-up, I got a message from an unknown number. At first, I thought it was spam. The message just said, "Hello." I was about to delete it when another came through. "This is ploy. Please don't block." My heart started pounding. I stared at the messages. Thought about blocking immediately. Didn't. Another message. "I know you hate me. I understand. But please, I need to talk to you." I put my phone down, went to make coffee, came back. More messages had come through. "I'm so sorry, Marcus. I know sorry is not enough. But I want to explain. Please give me a chance. I lost everything. Lost my job. Lost my apartment. Everyone know what I did. I have nothing now. I don't ask for money. I just want to talk. Please. Just one time." There were voice messages too. I clicked on one before I could stop myself. Her voice was wrecked, like she'd been crying for days. "Marcus, please. I know I hurt you very bad. I know you don't want to hear from me. But I need to see you. I need to explain. Not on message, face to face. Please, just coffee. 30 minutes. Then I never bother you again." I sat there for an hour just staring at my phone. The smart thing would have been to block her. Move on. Let her deal with the consequences of her own actions. That's what Kevin would have told me to do. That's what every expat who'd ever been burned would say. But I was curious. Or maybe I needed closure. Or maybe I was still just pathetic enough to want to see her one more time. I messaged back, "One coffee, 30 minutes, tomorrow at 2 p.m, the place near Wat Swan Dock." Her response came immediately. "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be there. Thank you, Marcus." I barely slept that night. She was already there when I arrived. Sitting at a corner table, hands wrapped around a glass of iced tea she clearly hadn't touched. She looked different. Thinner, no makeup. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She was wearing a faded t-shirt and jeans instead of the careful outfits she used to wear. When she saw me, she started to stand up, then sat back down like she wasn't sure what the protocol was. I sat across from her, didn't order anything. We sat in silence for maybe 30 seconds. It felt like an hour. Finally, she spoke. "Thank you for coming." I didn't respond. "I know you hate me," she continued. Her English was worse than I remembered. Stress, maybe. Or maybe she'd always relied on practice phrases, and now she was actually trying to communicate. "I know what I did is very bad. Unforgivable." "Why am I here, Ploy?" She looked down at her hands. "I want to explain, not to excuse, just to explain." "Explain what? That you were running the same scam on 5 guys at once? That everything was a lie?" "Not everything was lie." She looked up. Her eyes were red. "That's what I want you to understand." I almost laughed. "Which part was real? The sick mother? The broken motorbike? Your father's accident?" "My mother really was sick. That part was true. But yes, I used it to ask money from multiple people. The motorbike, that was maybe not broken so bad. And my father," she shook her head. "He is fine. That was lie. So you just recycled the same stories, sent the same photos, played the same role for all of us." "Yes." She said it quietly. "Yes, I did that." "Why?" She was quiet for a long time. Outside, a motorbike backfired. Someone laughed. Normal life continuing around us. "You know how much Masseuse make in Thailand?" she finally said. 250 baht per hour. Maybe I do 4-5 massage per day if I'm lucky. That's 1,000 baht. Maybe $35-40 Canadian per day. From that, I pay rent, I pay food, I send money to family. My mother really does have health problems. My father drinks too much. My younger brother is in university. I'm the oldest. I'm the one who has to take care of everyone." "So you decided to scam lonely foreigners?" "I decided to survive." There was something in her voice, not quite anger, more like exhaustion. "You think it's scam. Maybe it is. But what you paid for, you got it, didn't you? The massage was good. The company was nice. The messages made you feel better. Yes or no?" "That's not the point." "That is exactly the point." She leaned forward. "You paid for feeling special, for feeling like someone cared about you. And I gave you that. Every day for 7 months I gave you that. The fact that I gave it to other people too, that make it worth nothing. I stared at her. You lied to me. Yes, I lied, but you lied too. What are you talking about? You lied when you said you just want to help me. You didn't want to help me. You wanted to own me. You paid my rent so I don't have to massage other men. You think I didn't understand what that meant? You were buying me, making me depend on you. So eventually, maybe I have to be with you for real because I have no choice. The words hit me like cold water. That's not what I was doing. No? Then why you get upset when I couldn't see you on weekends? Why you want to meet my family? Why you ask about my apartment? You were trying to make me into girlfriend without asking me if I wanted to be girlfriend. I couldn't speak, because part of me knew she was right. I'm not saying what I did was okay, she continued. I'm not saying I'm victim. I knew exactly what I was doing. I lied to you. I lied to other men. I took money from all of you at the same time. That was wrong. I know this. Then why did you do it? Because I could. She said it simply. Because Farang men come to Thailand looking for something. Looking for women who need saving. Who make them feel important. Who make them feel like hero. And I gave that to you, all of you. You paid me to feel like good person, like important person, and I needed the money. So we both got what we wanted. I wanted something real. No. She shook her head. You wanted to feel real. Is different. If you wanted real, you would have asked me on real date, would have tried to be my boyfriend properly, would have met my friends, my family, but you didn't want the complicated parts. You wanted the fantasy, the grateful poor Thai girl who need your help, who make you feel generous and kind. I felt tears coming and fought them back. Some of it was real though. It had to be. The conversations we had, the time we spent together, that couldn't all be fake. Her expression softened. No, not all fake. I did like you, Marcus. You were kind, patient. You made me laugh. Of all the men, you were the one I felt most bad about lying to. That's why I'm here now. Because I want you to know, even though I lied about many things, I didn't lie about liking you. Just not enough to be honest with me. I couldn't afford to be honest with you. She looked away. You have no idea what it's like. You come to Thailand for adventure, for cheap life. For escape from your stress, you can leave any time. Go back to Canada with your money, your passport, your options. I can't leave. This is my life. This is all I have. And if lying to rich foreigners is how I survive, then that's what I do. We sat in silence again. I didn't know what to feel. Anger, sadness, understanding, all of it mixed together until I couldn't separate one from another. So why did you want to see me? I finally asked. Just to tell me this. She looked down. I wanted to apologize. Really apologize. Not because I want money or help. I know you would never help me again. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry I hurt you, and I wanted you to understand why I did it, even if you can't forgive me. Are you still doing it? Still messaging other guys? No. She shook her head. Everything fell apart. All the men found out about each other. They told everyone. Now all expat know my name, my face. Nobody will trust me. I can't work in Chiang Mai anymore. Where will you go? I don't know. Maybe Bangkok, maybe back to my village, maybe try to start over somewhere. She looked at me. That's why I wanted to see you, because I'm leaving tomorrow, and I wanted to say sorry face to face before I go. She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. Set it on the table between us. What's that? 20,000 baht. It's all I have left. I know it's not even close to what you gave me, but I want you to have it, to show that I'm really sorry, that I know what I did was wrong. I stared at the envelope. 20,000 baht, about 800 Canadian. A fraction of what I'd sent her, but probably everything she actually had. I pushed it back across the table. Keep it. You need it more than I do. Marcus. I don't want your money, Ploy. I never wanted your money. I didn't finish. Because I didn't know how to explain what I'd wanted. Connection, maybe. Purpose. To matter to someone. All things you can't buy, no matter how much you pay. She looked at the envelope, then at me. Can I ask you something? What? Do you regret it? All of it? I thought about that. The massages, the messages, the money, The feeling of mattering to someone, even if it was built on lies. The 7 months of feeling less alone. I don't know, I said honestly. Ask me in a year. She nodded like she understood. Picked up the envelope. Put it back in her bag. I should go, she said. Yeah. She stood up. Hesitated. I hope you find what you're looking for, Marcus. Really. You deserve to be happy. You too. She walked away. I watched her go. She didn't look back. I sat there for another hour after she left. Ordered a coffee I didn't drink. Watched the sun start to set, the light turning golden, the heat finally breaking. A monk walked by on the sidewalk, a couple on a motorbike, arms around each other, a family with a small child learning to walk, the parents laughing every time she stumbled. Normal life. Continuing. Indifferent to my small drama, I pulled out my phone, deleted the unknown number, deleted the screenshots I'd saved of our conversations, not out of anger anymore, just letting go. That was 4 months ago now. I'm still in Chiang Mai. Didn't run back to Vancouver with my tail between my legs. Didn't let this break me, even though part of me wanted to. I'm different though, more careful, less open. I don't trust as easily. Don't confuse loneliness for connection anymore. I still go to massage places sometimes, but I keep it transactional, polite but distant. Tip fairly but not excessively. Keep my phone in my pocket. I made actual friends. Other expats, some locals who speak English, people I can talk to about real things, who know my actual life, not the version I presented to Ploy. My savings of rebuilding. I picked up some freelance work on top of my day job, moved to a better apartment, started exercising, learning Thai properly, not just survival phrases, building a life instead of hiding from one. I saw Ploy one more time, 3 months after our coffee meeting. I was walking through the Sunday market with a friend when I spotted her. She was with another foreign man, older guy, maybe 50, German or Dutch from the sound of his accent. His arm was around her waist. She was smiling up at him, laughing at something he said. She saw me. Our eyes met for just a second. She didn't smile, didn't wave. Just this brief moment of recognition. Then she looked away and continued walking with the man. I heard her say something in broken English, heard him laugh, heard them disappear into the crowd. I felt sad, not angry, not betrayed, just sad, for her, for him, for everyone caught in these cycles of need and transaction and pretending not to notice the difference between genuine and performed affection. My friend asked if I was okay. I said yeah, and I meant it. Here's what I learned, and I hope if you're listening to this, you'll actually hear it. I wasn't scammed because Ploy was evil. I was vulnerable because I was empty. I came to Thailand running from something instead of towards something, and that emptiness made me desperate enough to pay for connection and pretend it was real. The money wasn't the real cost. The real cost was the time I spent lying to myself, telling myself this was different, this was special. This girl actually cared, because admitting the truth meant admitting how lonely I actually was. And Ploy? She wasn't a villain. She was just someone else trying to survive in a system that doesn't care about people like her. Using the only tools she had. Yeah, she lied. Yeah, she manipulated. But I paid her to do exactly that, even if I didn't admit it to myself. We were both buying and selling the same thing. The illusion of mattering. Now. I sit in my apartment some nights, same ceiling fan spinning slowly above me, same sounds of the city drifting through the window, but I'm not waiting for messages anymore. Not checking my phone every 5 minutes hoping to feel important. I'm just here, present. Building a real life instead of paying for a fake one. That's the lesson. Not that Thai women are scammers. Not that all massage girls are running games. The lesson is simpler and harder. You can't pay someone to fill the hole inside you. You have to do that work yourself. And if you're watching this from your apartment in Chiang Mai or Pattaya or Bangkok or anywhere else, and you're sending money to someone you met in a bar or a massage place or online, ask yourself, what am I actually paying for? And is it worth the price? Because the answer might surprise you. All right, that's Marcus's story. I'll be back next week with another one. Until then, take care of yourselves. And remember, the best relationship you can have is the one with yourself. See you next time on Bargirl Baddies.